joining us today on a video walk-around series. I'm going to be talking to you about our favorite baler, the 605N Select. This is Vermeer's flagship baler. It is a high-end commercial baler. If that you are baling anywhere from 2,000 bales up, this is going to be an amazing baler for you. The amount of capacity and forage capabilities that this baler has is phenomenal. It's probably the highest on the market at the moment. So I would just kind of get to it, talk to you about the features and benefits. So if you want to come in here, I'll show you a little bit about it. Starting off, I want to talk about the direct crop feed pickup. This pickup is the heaviest pickup on the market. You come in underneath here, you can see why. The teeth are rubber mounted, dual tying teeth. The bar is segmented, and it's a 5-bar pickup. So what that does is that those bars are going to pick up the crop a lot better off the field. And then you can see it directly feeds onto the drum roller back there. So your start time is going to be increased quite a bit from the previous models. This is still going off of the same concept of the Super M series, but this pickup's pretty bulletproof. It's an amazing pickup and has done a phenomenal job for us. Now coming out, you can see our hitch design has been changed a little bit. We do have holders built in for actual hydraulic holders and for our electrical holders. We still have the drop pin with the cover. That way if you're going around through a field, it's not going to come off with a bump. This is 1,000 RPMs on the PTO. On this unit, you can get it in the 540. Underneath here is the radial pin clutch. The radial pin clutch is standard on the 1,000 PTO. This also has a slip sensor, so if that you are slipping on your actual clutch here or anything on the drives, it's going to tell you in the cab on our E-Link Pro monitor. The E-Link Pro monitor has been a proven, tested monitor for these balers. It will have active moisture sensing. You can fully adjust your bale size, anywhere from 36 inches up to 72 inches. And then you can adjust your number of wraps here. Standard, I like to set it about 2.5. And then we also have our different information cells here. These can be changed depending on what you want to be doing here. This baler has lights, so there is a button here for lights. We can start and pause our net at any time in this. We have a button here for loading the net wrap. You push that button and it'll go through the load cycle. And you just push and hold and it goes back to the home screen.
What was that QR code there on that net load? Is that how you can access it through your phone?
Yep.
On the directions?
So if you scan this QR code, it will pull up directions on how to correctly load the net wrap. Pretty handy.
Oh, that is neat. That's nice.
Let's see here. And then we have different fields. So depending on, lots of guys will use these to take care of their different fields that they have, so you can monitor the amount of forage production per cutting. And then you can keep these records over courses of years through Excel documents. There's an actual port here for your USB, and you can upload this to your Excel spreadsheets. If that you are a custom producer, you can come in here and you can add different customers with their information. It's very handy to have this. Lots of guys do utilize this. I have some older customers that it's just nothing that they do use, but it is there. You can store, I think, 250 different fields and customers. So we do also have our field statistics, depending on what field that you have. These are those cells that were on the front screen there. You can come here on the front screen. If you want to change these out, you can change these out to whatever you want to do. Total bales, average moisture, customers, bale time. I like to have the bale time there, though I know what my actual bales are and my bales per hour for productivity. Then you have different calibrations and diagnostics on this menu. Overall, it's a very easy monitor to use. Everything you can just hit a button and it goes right to it.
Jacob, can you talk about the moisture sensing
Yeah.
on this baler? Does that monitor the moisture of the hay the whole time?
It does. So this is active moisture sensing. So from when you first start that bale till the end of the baling cycle, it will have completely accurate moisture sensing. It is electronic moisture sensing. So with that, it is only accurate up to about 30% moisture, but it will do a really good job. You can see it's dry right now. That just means that there's no moisture in there. Under, I think, 8%, it shows the dry, but above there, it's gonna be a feature that is one that we sell above our competition just because we can keep our customers in the field longer to beat a storm. And if it is a little wet, they're not gonna be ruining their hay whenever they first pull in.
So that's pretty much an exclusive to Vermeer, isn't it? Having the moisture sensor and it recording it in the same monitor.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. This is an exclusive feature for Vermeer on the monitor. Lots of other monitors will have two different monitors. If they add it in aftermarket, Vermeer's is all integrated into their system. And this is ISO compatible. So if your tractor is set up with ISO bus technology, you can plug right into the tractor itself and go right along. Now coming over to our drive systems, you can see Vermeer has a very easy design. Everything's very accessible. There's not a whole lot of different, panels or other things that you have to remove to get to anything. You have 80 chain here underneath. Then you have 80 chain for your drum sprockets. And then 60 as your top pull chain. The reason we don't need 80 chain here is because the weight of the bale is on our drum roller. Whereas on like a Deere or an RB, a New Holland, the weight of the bale is on the belts. So what this does is it takes the weight that would have been on your belts and stretching your belts, and it puts it isolated onto the drum roller itself. So you don't need as much 80 chain going up to the top. We do have fully adjustable bale density. You can loosen this or tighten it depending on how much bale density you need. All grease zerks are accessible except for this one here and this one here, but everything else is on an actual bank, and that's on both sides of the baler. This is one feature that I love. I can get to every single grease bank from just right here. On our pickup, we have toolless adjusted gauge wheels. All you have to do is pull the pin here and you can move this gauge wheel to any position depending on your crop type. If you have high stubble or if you have it low to the ground, you can adjust that, and it's a very easy adjustment. Whereas on your Deeres, your New Hollands, and even on the older models, you had to get a wrench out to even do anything. And then it was always moving or it wasn't ever holding in place. This is going to guarantee it holds in place and you're getting that correct pickup height adjustment.
Jacob, a question for you. Is that an air-up tire on the gauge wheel?
Yeah, these are fully pneumatic tires. And it does add for very good field terrain stability. So going through that field, your pickup's not going to be taking a lot of hits. Pull it around here to the side. We do have our flotation tires. This is a standard feature on the 605N Select. If you go with just a standard 605N, this is an option. The flotation tires do an amazing job of keeping that baler not where it's taken a lot of the shock from the bumps and the ruts. It's going to do a lot better job of absorbing a lot of that. Overall, it's something that around in this area is a must-have just because the terrain can be rough. We also have our tailgate lock here. It's a very easy system. Just open it or close it depending on what you need to do. Coming around the back side, you can see we have our hydraulic ramp underneath. Now what this does is it's gonna come down before the tailgate opens. So this will lower all the way to the ground, then the tailgate will fully open. When you go to close the tailgate, this will come up and it's gonna hold the bale away from the baler. Doesn't matter what position you're in. If you're on a hill, any kind of unlevel terrain, this will hold that bale back away from the baler, and then that tailgate will come back down. Now what that does is it keeps that bale away, so you're not going to end up tweaking your tailgate, and it's also better compared to a kicker for the fact that a kicker sometimes is more aggressive, and a lot of the bales around here we have Bermuda grass or some other hay that is a little bit smaller hay. We don't want to rip our net wrap system, so sometimes kickers can be more aggressive and fling that bale, and then you end up damaging it later on. This is extremely gentle on the bale, and it does a really good job of keeping that back away from the baler. It still is pretty fast. It's going to have a good speed. It's not something that's just slow and you have to wait on it. It does a very good job of keeping that bale back away. We also have active bale shape sensors here. You have a left side, a center, and a right side bale shape sensor. Underneath, we have one of my favorite things on this baler. The Vermeer net wrap attachment is as trouble-free and as easy to use as any net wrap system out there. Very easy to load. The button I pushed up front, it pulls this shear bar up, and then you have an easy diagram just to show you how this comes through. You'll have your net wrap here, and it goes underneath the spiral roller, and then back over this plate, and you just tuck it behind your belts. Then you go ahead and you hit that button again, and it sucks it down and locks it in. Very easy to use, no rubber on rubber, all steel on steel. No static buildup, you're not gonna have anything to catch on back here. It's gonna feed almost every time. The only time you're ever gonna have to worry about anything is when you first start up. You might have a little bit of rust buildup on this rotor. That clears up after one bale. Very simple, very easy to use. The adjustments on this, you have a spring. You can come around and see the actual rotor. This is a very heavy duty rotor as compared to some rotor systems on other balers. You have a really big brake pad. The rotor is massive. And then you have a really big spring for the adjustments. So you can tighten up your net wrap. The Vermeer net wrap we have quite a bit of. We're one of Vermeer's biggest net wrap sailors and retailers in the whole world. The net wrap is not pre-stretched like a lot of the other net wraps out there. So what the system does on this Vermeer pickup or net wrap system is it actually will stretch the net as it is applied to the bale. So you're gonna have a really tight sucked down circumference on that bale. It's gonna keep a lot of the rain and moisture out. It's gonna keep those outside edges from spoiling, and it has really good UV protection as compared to other net wrap brands out there. This is one of the heaviest woven net wraps on the market. It works wonderful in Vermeer and John Deere, New Holland balers. All around, I would highly recommend it to anyone who's having net wrap issues with your other balers. It's been proven to work really good in all brands. We have on this side one feature that does set the 605N Select apart from other versions. So we have an automatic cutout clutch for the pickup. So what this does is as you're baling along, it will tell you to stop. When you stop, it turns off your pickup for you. So the inside belts will be moving while it's wrapping, but it shuts off this pickup. This does a few things. It keeps the net wrap out of the pickup. It reduces wear on the actual components for the pickup itself, and it will guarantee that you will never overfill the chamber. That is huge. So if you have someone in the tractor that is not paying attention, they're on their phone, they got a call, they missed the alarm. Well, they're just gonna be pushing hay because it's gonna build up in front and not overfill your chamber, thus ripping belts, making bearings go out early. It's a lifesaver. Lots of our customers prefer this over the standard variation. It is a wonderful feature to have. Another feature that's helped this baler tremendously is the ECU monitor. So what this does, if we had in the past software updates we had to do to the monitors, we had to send them off to Pella, Iowa to get done. Now, all we have to do is we open this up here and we can plug a memory stick in and we can do an update in the field, in the shop, wherever we're at. It takes about 10-15 minutes, very easy to have serviced. Also, the brains of the computer are right here. So the monitor inside the cab is all just a monitor. All your information and everything is stored in this weatherproofed box. Extremely high quality. I have never had anything mess up in the past. I mean, they've had this baler at 5 years almost. Zero issues. It's been an incredible setup. Again, we have the grease tanks on this side here as well. This baler is optioned with lights. There's a couple other options. You can get a automatic grease gun, and then also you can get scales added to the baler as well. All around, it's just an amazing baler. We have demo units available. If anyone wants to have a demo set up, just call. Our phone number is 405-282-1196. Check us out on our Facebook, Beck's Farm Equipment, and we also have a website that is updated daily with all of our inventory information, online parts store at becksfarmequipment.com. Thank you for tuning in.